I got access to the tumblers on Amazon Merch about 24 hours ago, and it's safe to say that I didn't catch a lot of sleep.
I did it. Mwah!
However, the good news for you is I'm now going to share my findings with you. I'll show you some best practices, share what I've been doing personally, how to check for trademarks, specifically for tumblers, how to set up ad campaigns with them, and I'll also show you how I've started to automate the upload process to tumblers in order to capitalize on this opportunity and upload as many designs as quickly as possible. So here we are on the Amazon Merch Create page. If I go to select products, you can see now there's the tumbler right here at the bottom for the American marketplace only. That's very common with new products being added to Amazon Merch. And if we scroll down on this page, it shows up next to the throw pillows. Now, I've purposely used an existing t-shirt design right here as the primary image for this listing, because the first thing I did is I actually went into some of my best-selling designs of all time and I just enabled the tumbler like this. And what you will find is that the t-shirt design only gets placed on one side of the tumbler. So this doesn't really work on black. You've got the different color options here. So we deselect these to look at white and then check the preview tab right here. Then you can see if we kind of go around this tumbler, most of it is actually empty. It's a single-sided print, which might work. It might be okay if you want to literally upload stuff really fast and you're not really bothered about the quality of the product much, then yeah, this works. But in my opinion, it's going to be way better to resize these files and have a double-sided print instead. Unfortunately, you can't do this in this editor. At least I've tried, and I've not found any way to do it, annoyingly. So it's going to have to be done through either Photoshop with one of those templates, with Affinity Designer, Canva, whatever you use yourself. Download the template from the Tumblr FAQ page and resize things on there. I did upload a video just a few days ago showing you how to do this in bulk with my designs. I'll show that again in this video because it's part of the upload automation process that I'm going to share with you, but more later on that video. So a few things to know right here. If you have all of these colors enabled, then brushed steel will be the primary thumbnail. So this gray color right here, if you have that selected, then black is the next best option that shows in the thumbnail. If you want it white as your primary thumbnail image, you can only select white. Anything else cancels that out. If you have these two selected, again, brushed steel is going to be the primary thumbnail. One thing to note as well, if you're thinking about uploading patterns, which is one of the first ideas I had, let me just show an example. So I've kind of got a all over print food pattern right here as an example. And in the design window, you can see it covers the entire print area and it looks like it should just wrap around fully around the tumbler. But if we click on the preview, you can see it just looks terrible. Not only do we have this gap at the top between the steel and the actual design, but we also have this, at the back of the tumbler where it doesn't wrap all the way around. So essentially whatever background color the customer selects, there's still a gap between the background color and the steel to the print, and then this weird gap at the back. So it's essentially, this just looks horrible, and I wouldn't use an all over print design like this. If you wanted to fill out more of the print area with pattern elements, you would have to do it PNG somehow, and don't have anything that bleeds off of the edge. So I hope that makes sense. This one is a bit difficult to explain, but as you can see, like all over print just doesn't work. So I think for us t-shirt designers, it's going to be easier to just repurpose our t-shirt designs, or use pre-made existing t-shirt designs, create some new ones with AI and have them placed on either side, rather than trying to create patterns with a transparent background that work across this strange format. But yeah, I just thought I'd quickly point that out to you. One more very important thing is the pricing, because by default, I think it's set to $21.99. You can take it down to $20.99, which is what I would recommend doing, because you cannot go lower. $19.99 already gives you an error, meaning the lowest possible price is $20.99. Yeah, look, this doesn't even work. So that is quite annoying. And same if you go up to $23.99. That doesn't work either. So we're very limited on the price range, and the royalty is basically, the same on all of these prices. There's literally no difference. So I don't see any point to price higher than the minimum price for these tumblers. That's what I've been doing. That's what I would recommend you do as well. Even if you get sales, don't increase the price. It's not worth it. You would much rather the customer is more likely to spend and purchase your tumbler, then get like an extra 10 cents royalty. Keep it at $20.99, I would say, for all of these, and hopefully that'll give you the maximum sales and royalties possible. So another really important thing for you to know is I've uploaded the resized design right here, and it looks totally fine in this placement tab. But if you go to the preview, it appears like a few letters or parts of the design are being cut off in the mockup. Obviously the print is still there if you turn this around, but what I thought initially is if customers see this in the search results, they won't be able to read the text. So I was making my designs very, very tiny on the resized version so that they show up in this mockup. But this is only the mockup on the create page for us sellers. The actual real mockups on the marketplace, they are different, and I found that they show a lot more of the actual wrap, and only half a letter being cut off, like this A and the E, there's half a G being cut off. That will show on the Amazon marketplace. So don't worry too much about what it looks like in here. As long as you don't stretch your design all the way to the edges, it should be fine on the Amazon mockups. And that's a little bit difficult to explain. I'll try and put up some examples on the screen. I don't know why they did this, but I thought it's worth you knowing so you don't kind of make the same mistake as me and upload designs that are really tiny just to kind of fit the wrong mockups. Another really important thing is checking for trademarks for Tumblr specifically, because they actually exist in a completely different trademark class to pretty much all of the other products that we have had access to before. So in order to check for trademarks for these tumblers, you need to scroll up to the top, make sure you've got Producta for Merch by Amazon installed, and then head into the Settings tab. Now, if you're wondering why this looks so weird, my menu is getting too full because I've started to test Merch Recs as well. This is why it's kind of dropped down right here. Too many menu items. Merch Recs is a big recommendation of mine. They do have a free version, I think. I'm testing the paid version. It's got a really nice dashboard to analyze your sales, and you can manage products very effectively too. And it is a brand new plugin. So I've got high hopes that this might kind of replace some of the Producta functions which are kind of going downhill recently. But enough about Merch Recs. Let's talk about the trademarks. Okay, that's what we're on with. So we're going to the settings right here. You want to scroll down a bit until you get to this section of trademark check classes. And my settings have now changed to only the tumblers right here at the bottom, which is class 21. And when you have this enabled, you want to hit save. And then if that's all you're uploading, then that's going to be hidden behind this trademark US check button right here. So Adventurous Calling is clean. Bear in mind, with those settings, it's not going to check for t-shirts anymore, just the tumblers. But what I've been doing is after I published my bestsellers onto tumblers, I've just been uploading Tumblr designs exclusively without, pushing to these other products as well. So yeah, definitely bear that in mind. Don't skip the trademark check, because in the sort of rush of getting designs out there, you don't want to be caught in the kind of crossfire of loads of rejections and get into trouble with it. And this button right here is definitely the best or quickest way to check them. Another quick tip, I will leave a link in the description that will help you filter out the Amazon merch tumblers, and it also sorts the results by newest arrivals. So essentially, whilst you're scrolling through this, you will see what's been recently added to tumblers on Amazon merch. You can tell by the dates as well. Everything says September 2024. So whilst scrolling through this, look up for anything that already has a BSR, because if it's sold quickly, that might be a good niche to test out. And just in general, kind of familiarize yourself with what these mockups look like so you can tell them apart from other tumblers if you're just doing research naturally. If I click into one of these, it will show the live listing as well. This has the all-around view, so as you can tell, this is a single-sided print. The back is plain, and interestingly, they also added lifestyle mockups for these tumblers, which hasn't really been a thing before for Amazon merch products. Here is kind of an example of what I was alluding to before with the patterns as a PNG file without a background, because if you change the color right here to black or silver, this still works, and there's no kind of weird edge at the top. The only thing that this person kind of messed up, I think, in my opinion, is that you can still see that little gap at the back of the tumbler, but I don't think that's a massive issue. This still looks a lot nicer than the pattern that I showed you before, and kind of gives you a good example of how to approach it if you want to fill out more of the print area. Here's a really cool example that I found during my research. This is not an Amazon merch tumbler. It does look similar, but the mock-ups are clearly different, and I mean, if you look at the settings down here as well, it's an older listing. And essentially, the reason I like this is because whilst it does have double-sided print, it's not just one design being repeated. We've got Best Mom Ever on the front, and then the the nutrition facts on the back. And whilst these kind of designs probably take a lot longer to put together, there's more effort involved, they can probably sort of pose a great opportunity to stand out, to offer something unique, to get more sales essentially if you find the right niches. Whilst this is not an Amazon merch listing, it does have a lot of reviews and clearly resonates with people. You can see this working across many different niches, not just this design style, but generally having 2 different designs on the front and the back. So bear that in mind if you want to kind of spend a bit more time and create quality listings rather than going down the sort of quantity route. Another thing I'm going to do to give my tumblers the best chance is set up some ad campaigns. And I thought, first of all, let's just create a lottery campaign, throw all of the new live tumblers into it, and then worry about manual campaigns in a few days down the line. So what I wanted to do is just enter a list of ASINs right here, or just upload a spreadsheet. And I did run into a little bit of an issue that I want to show you so you can avoid it, and I'll show you a bit of a workaround. So Productor for Merch by Amazon and Pretty Merch, I don't think they will let you filter out the tumblers yet and then, you know, copy the ASINs, but MerchRex actually has that done already, or it's quite easy in here. I'm in the Manage Products tab. What I did is I hit live. For the products over here, I typed in Tumbler, and now you've got the list of live tumblers. You can select them all, and with this button over here, this is kind of like the action button. You can copy ASINs and export CSVs. Now the only issue is if you copy these ASINs, then paste them into here, try and add them, you're going to get an error. So the thing is, that still doesn't work, and I believe it might be because there is multiple ASINs for these tumblers. There's primary ASINs, and then there is secondary ASINs for each one of the colors, for black, for silver, and for white. And we need to use those secondary ASINs instead, which you cannot filter out with MerchRex either, unfortunately. Hopefully they'll add that in the future. But essentially, what you have to do at the moment is you need to go to a live listing on Amazon Merch of your product. This is just a random one I found. And then you can see the ASIN down here for this specific color. If I change this to black, it's going to also change that ASIN depending on which color I've got selected. This ASIN stays the same. I think this is the primary ASIN for our tumbler in general. That's the one that doesn't work if you add it to your ad campaign. This is the ASIN that you need. I might be slightly wrong here. I don't know exactly why that error comes up, but from my experience, just copying the ASINs from your live listings, pasting them into the console, that seems to work. If you try and use a tool, that hasn't been working for me yet. If you know a workaround there, let me know. But it's still worth setting up some ad campaigns, maybe not with hundreds of products, that'll take you forever, but 10, 20, 30 of some of your best designs. Just put them in an auto campaign, leave them running for a bit so they can get some more exposure. Another thing that I've started doing is automating my uploads, because what I want to be able to do is just take some of my old listings, my old designs, resize all of those designs in bulk, create the listings in bulk, and push them onto Amazon without having to sit there manually doing it. That way I can still focus on creating new Tumblr specific designs whilst also repurposing my old t-shirts. The only way I know to do this as of now is through My Designs and Merch Titans. This is totally an optional thing, like you don't have to do this, but if you're a nerd like me,
hi, how are you?
Who likes automating processes and saving time, this is the part of the video for you. Flying Upload, I know they're developing this already, so it works for them as well to upload to Tumblrs. Once that comes out, I can make another video showing you this process with Flying Upload. At the moment, what I've been doing personally is inside of My Designs, this is the demo account right here. I usually head to the listings tab first. I would then click on home up here and create a new folder. I'll actually find my subfolder first, and then I'll just call this Halloween Ghosts. For the template, I'm going to use one of the saved templates right here because we're uploading to Amazon Merch and not to Etsy. So Merch Titans Automation is the one that I would go with. Then click Add New Folder. I'm going to select that Halloween Ghosts folder and then open it with the button down here. And now let's go ahead and upload our files. So I found a bunch of ghost designs right here on Creative Fabrica. I will leave a link to this specific bundle down below. That's another tip, by the way. You can go to Creative Fabrica, find some good bundles about specific niches, and then repurpose them on Tumblrs as well, as long as they have that little badge that says full POD usage allowed. Now you need to click Upload All and wait for these to be imported. And by the way, in this example, I'm using 10 designs, but the same workflow works with 40 designs, with 80 designs. I've tested this with bigger batches and prepared them for upload. I've not got around to actually uploading them yet, but I've done a lot of work yesterday, or should I say this morning, to make it as seamless as possible to carry on uploading to the Tumblrs. So once these have imported, what we need to do next is select all of them up here. And then we want to essentially create the Tumblr file. So we'll go to the canvas system, we'll go to templates, custom size, and then type in 3000 by 1400 pixels, click create. Then I'm going to grab the template for the Amazon merch tumblers, the sizing template, and drop that into here as well. Right, here we are. We'll need to go to position and fit this to the artboard. And now that we've got this centering guide, we can go ahead and import our ghost designs. We do that by clicking on add listing file up here, then hit add to all. And now we can scoot this across. Maybe in this case, I will make this slightly smaller and then again, center it in between these two green lines. That's the goal right here. And then I'm going to right click and sync this, where the same placement gets applied to these other designs as well. I'm going to duplicate this, pull it across, same thing here, hit sync, and now we've got the double-sided print of all of these designs ready for the tumblers. I'll now click save up here, then just change this or save it to a new file slot. I'll also save this as editable, just in case some of these designs are slightly off and I want to kind of change them later on down the line. So hit save up here. I'm going to quickly head over to the template section up here and just rename the second file slot from overlay design to Tumblr, because that is where the Tumblr print file is now saved. So if we save these changes up here, update template, change this to grid view, double click on the Tumblr file. Yeah, these are all called Tumblr and they have the correct sizing now. That will help us out later. And I just noticed a mistake that I made, which I've made a few times by now. So if it happens to you, don't worry. I left the centering guide on the original design. So what you want to do then is click on this little symbol right here, click on the centering guide and delete it, and then just overwrite this file. A very common mistake. So anyway, now that this is all ready, we need to prepare the listing data. Now, if this is, a set of old designs, you already have listings for it, feel free to copy and paste the old listing data. You just need to be in the list view. You've got all of your fields here for title, brand, bullets, etc. You can also head to quick actions, do edit in bulk, and that way you can fill out your bullets, your descriptions, everything at once without having to do it manually. One thing you can do as well is use Vision AI. This is their AI kind of listing generator. What I've been doing most of the time, I've clicked into here, changed this to Amazon merch, and then rather than actually filling out all of the fields with AI, I've just done the title, and then I've filled in the description or the bullet points myself with the same text in every listing. Just the title is different. You can generate the entire listing with AI if you wanted to. Let's actually just see what that looks like. So we'll do the brand name, we'll do description and bullet 1. You can also filter out words right here. So if you don't want gift, birthday, all of these banned words to be included in your listing, then tick this filter box. You can also give it custom instructions if you want to tell it, these designs are related to Halloween, so please include relevant keywords. There we go. Let's hit generate listing data. Yes, run Vision AI. And in case it's the first time you're seeing this, it's now going to scan the design file for every single listing at the same time, and it will write the listing based on what it can see, and it will do it in a way that works for Amazon merch listings. Now, these AI listings are good, but they're not perfect. I think by manually doing it or writing some relevant keywords out yourself, you can still create better listings. But let's take a quick look at this. So we've got spooky Ghost Rider Halloween theme, spooky cowboy ghost with pumpkins and bats. Like, it's definitely describing these images well, but then when it gets into like the bullet points, this creative Halloween inspired art features a spooky ghost dressed as a cowboy, complete with bats, pumpkins and autumn leaves in the background to enhance the festive theme. That's actually a decent description, so you could just go with this. But if you wanted like a unified description for everything, where you also have some of the target audience, like this is great for women, for men, for moms, for dads, for girls, boys. Like, if you want to include stuff like that, if you want to have more control, you could go to quick actions. You could do edit in bulk. For example, I want the same brand name for all of these. I don't want the brand name to be different. I'll just click into the brand field right here. I'll say overwrite that. I don't want the AI stuff, and just put, I don't know, cute Halloween ghost, something quick and simple like that. You could do a cute Halloween ghost. Apparel doesn't really work, so we'd have to do drinkware now, I guess, for these tumblers. Something like that. Just hit apply. Yes, update listings. And there we go. We've got the same brand name for all of these. And yeah, for the bullet or for the description, you could do the same if you're not happy with the AI generated listing. But now that this is done, we can essentially start to connect our My Designs to Merge Titans and just configure a few settings in there and start the automatic upload. If you're just doing this with like 5 or 10 designs, it does seem a little tedious and time consuming. But if you've got, old sets of designs for a niche, if you've got like 50 designs for the gaming niche, for example, then going down this route is a big time saver for sure. What I would do next is head to the settings, which is up here in the top right corner, account settings. Then you need to go to tokens down here, and you want to generate a new token for Merge Titans automation. So you can just call it MTA or Titans, whatever you want. Then you want to click generate and then copy this right here. Then you need to head into Merge Titans and click upload XLSX file up here. Then choose My Designs, paste that token and click OK. And then it's going to load all of your collections into Merge Titans. The newest one is typically all the way at the bottom. Yes, here we go, Philip Demos, Halloween Ghosts. Now this step is important. You need to change this from primary design to Tumblr, because that's what it's going to use for the print file that Merge Titans will upload to Amazon Merch. So as soon as you've got the right one selected right here, click on select, then hit OK. And here you'll see how the data is being mapped. So this is the bullet 1, the title, brand name, that all looks correct. Then we'll go back and configure a few settings. First of all, we'll go to Amazon Merch right here. You've got the option to change these settings based on what you want. You don't have to copy me exactly. For example, you can save it as a draft, but you can also publish this straight away. For the publish settings, we do need to actually use the template, which means whatever you have saved as your Amazon Merch template, meaning those colors for the Tumblr and that price for the Tumblr that you have saved on Amazon Merch, that's what's going to be used. So that is quite important. You have to have that turned on, otherwise it doesn't work. And auto translate down here, we can just turn that off. And that's basically it. Now if we go back to home, I'll just disable all of the other platforms right here. Click on start. And now you've got the option to, for example, uncheck these, just test one to begin with, or you can just, do them all in one go. I'll just start with one of these for now to show you what it looks like. So we'll start the upload. Here we are. It's now adding this Tumblr optimized design, and within the template I purposely only have the Tumblr selected, none of the t-shirts or other products at all, just the Tumblr. And as you can see, it has all colors selected as well, black, silver and white, which might not be ideal for this design, but yeah, that's something you need to consider based on what your designs look like. It might be easier if all of your designs are optimized for the same background color. And there we go, it saved it as a draft. So that was an example of one of these listings going into drafts. You can obviously change that in the settings on Merge Titans and have it published straight away. What I would personally recommend doing is, if you have a niche of very similar designs and listings, just have one of them uploaded into drafts first, then check the trademarks, hit publish, wait until it goes into processing. That way it doesn't get rejected. And then you could change your Merge Titans settings for everything to just be published straight away and upload the rest of your designs that way. And that's going to be, a lot easier than sitting there and manually uploading one listing after another. Obviously, if you want to be completely risk-free, then just save all of your listings to drafts. That way you always have the final choice, or the final finger on the trigger in a sense when it comes to publishing listings, and you can always still check for trademarks before you do so. By the way, I'm pretty sure Flying Upload will have an update very soon for those of you who are using Flying Upload. I'm sure they're working on it already if they got access to Tumblrs, and I imagine, I don't know for sure, but I imagine they will probably build in the functionality to have your t-shirt design resized onto sort of a double-sided print. And that's just a guess, by the way, I didn't speak to them, but if that is possible, I'm sure they'll work on it. Also, if you don't have access to Tumblrs yet, stay patient. I hope you'll get it very, very soon. There was a wave yesterday where many sellers in higher tiers seem to get access. The lowest tier I heard about was, I think, 10,000. So hopefully in the next few days, all of the remaining sellers will get access as well. And if you've still got any questions, leave them in the comments down below. The links to everything I mentioned in this video, including Merge Titans and My Designs, will be in the description as well. And I hope you get a lot of sales on these new Tumblrs that I'm posting. Have fun designing, and best of luck for Q4. Another way that I will take advantage of these new Tumblrs and Amazon Merch is by running some very specific targeted ad campaigns. And if you want to learn an in-depth strategy that can help you scale some of your Tumblrs into best sellers, then make sure to check out this video next.